Namaste, peace and love, Tony Parra here. Yogis should not read the Yoga Sutras. Patanjali's Yoga Sutras have been the pivotal text for sincere yogis on the path. Unfortunately, this is not a text that modern yogis should read. Well, not as if it were a regular book. There's so many complications when it comes to getting to the bottom of what Patanjali intended. 1. The sutras are not meant to be read all the way through in one sitting like we would a bedtime story, especially if this is undertaken by oneself with no tutelage. You see, it's said that a certain proficiency in the lower forms of samadhi are a must in order to be able to unlock the hidden messages coded within the passages of Patanjali's sutras. 2. Nowadays, a big problem is that there are just so many different versions or commentaries of this text to choose from. And unfortunately, many commentators have just been rendering their commentaries by means of interpretation rather than explanation. In this regard, many authors have given commentaries which are just not rooted in the original system from which the sutras were spawned, but rather they give their own fanciful, often self-authorized opinions. A kind of, this is what runs through my mind when I read this line in the text type of working. This particularly happens when presented by those who don't have the direct experience of the various yogic states of mind. But on the other hand, if it's done by those who have the direct experiences, it renders some pretty insightful, some useful reading. 3. Each verse needs not only individual contemplation, but reflective and comparative contemplations with association from verses which have come before and after it. So considering that context, you can clearly see that it's not exactly a linear text when we're considering the process of completely understanding the contents. 4. Patanjali's sutras are not written in a way that we can truly understand or fathom them all by themselves. They require specific prerequisite knowledge, or at least commentaries written by authorities who can offer us valid testimony of its accounts, and that can also help us to break down the semantics of the language used, as was relative to its time period and the culture of origin. 5. Corresponding with what was just said, the sutras could also be likened to a PowerPoint presentation. You could get a little bit of information from the slides of a PowerPoint themselves, but not nearly the depth of having a true teacher go through the PowerPoint with you, to be by your side to expound upon the explanation of each sentence or perhaps even each word. Hence the need for commentators and reliable translators. 6, I think we're at 6. The sutras are also a way that teachers could keep themselves and students on track to make sure that the necessities were not overlooked in the training of a shishya. Being mindful of these and many other lesser known aspects of the sutra, I've really continued to explore their significance and to utilize them in the training of knowledgeable students to help attune their focus in the right direction regarding what a yogic path is all about. I hope so deeply that you'll be able to join in on the yoga intensive, where we can get more practical about the usage of this incredible text. Namaste.
Om Anjaneyaya Brahmahaya Namaha Vayuputraya Dhimaya Om Tanno Hanuma Prachodayate